So this lesson we're going to be talking about how to find surface area of different shapes. Really these notes are just going to be a lot of different examples of all the different types of shapes, so you have it to reference like when you're going through the homework and practice. So it is just going to be a lot of examples, but bear with me. But basically, we have right here, there's going to be a lot of examples that follow, but bottom line is you need to find the area of each face, meaning each side of the shape. All of the sides around and the top and bottom, and then you just add those together. So it's surface area is just finding a bunch of separate areas of all the faces of all the sides of the shape and then adding them all together to get the surface area. So the most the trickiest thing really with surface area is just to not miss any of the sides. So make sure you're organized, kind of do shapes in like the same order every time so that you don't miss any of the shapes. So this example here, to find the surface area of a prism. So surface area, what these examples do is they kind of unfold the shape so that it can lay flat. And basically, if you were to take that net, it's called, and kind of fold it back up, it would create whatever shape we're talking about here. So if we're talking about a prism is just a bunch of quadrilaterals, a bunch of parallelograms, quadrilaterals, for sides. So really you're just going to be finding area of a, that's the bell. You're going to be finding area of all of the different rectangles that make up the sides of the surface of the prism here. And so again, the best way to do it is just go side by side. So if we look at this side first, or this face, it has a base of 4 and a height of 5. So that would be 5 times 4, which is 20. And then we can do this face, which again, this one now has a base of 3, but the height is still 5. So it would be 5 times 3, which is 15. Then we could do the back face. And that has the same base and height as that front one. So base of 4, height of 5. So again, that's 20. Then we can do the left face, which has the same base and height as the right one. So 3 times 5 is 15. And then we did all the sides. So that's what I like to do. I like to go around and then do the top and bottom at the end. Then our top here has, now we need to look at these measurements here. So this side right here is 4. And this side right here is 3. So the area of that guy would be 4 times 3, which is 12. We need to find the area of our bottom one as well, our bottom face, which is the same thing, 4 times 3 equals 12. And so then it's just a matter of adding up all the areas of our faces. Okay, also with prisms, the opposite faces are going to be the same. So if you want to just find like the front one, like the area of the front face, and then multiply it by 2, that'll give you the front and the back. Same with the left and right, and top and bottom. So if you want to go one by one, that works. If you want to notice which ones are the same and just times by 2, that works too. Whatever works for you, whatever makes the most sense. Example 2. So finding the surface area, again, is the same thing, but now we have some triangles involved. Triangular prism, so meaning our top and bottom face are triangles. So the sides, again, I like to start with the sides, but you can do whatever order you want. We still have rectangles as all of our sides, so we can still do the area of a rectangle to find those. And so for this one, we have the height of our rectangle is 6, but we don't know, oops, that's a highlighter, we don't know the base. So we need to figure out this length right here. Well, luckily we have a right triangle with 2 sides, so we can use the Pythagorean theorem to find this missing length here. So we'd have 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. C is that side we're looking for. So 9 plus 16. 25 equals c squared, square root of both sides, c equals 25. Oops, just kidding, c equals 5, not 25. So the length of this side of our prism there would be 5. So when we find the area of that front face, it's 5 times 6, which is 30. Then if we find the area of this face, that has a side of 4, base of 4, height of 6, so 24. And then this face to the left over here has a base of 3 and the height of 6. The height is the same all the way around. So that would be 3 times 6, which gives us 18. And now we deal with the triangle. So for our top triangle, remember the base and height have to be the perpendicular sides. So we're dealing with 3 and 4. So area equals 1/2 the base times the height, which gives us 6. And then it's the same for our bottom triangle. 1/2 base times height, which gives us 6. And then it's just a matter, again, of adding up all of those areas and making sure we have the right unit. So this is surface area. It's still area, so it's still going to be squared units, so centimeters squared. Okay, so this problem goes through, adds them all up. You should get 84 centimeters squared as the final answer. Okay, now a cylinder. A cylinder is a little tricky because it doesn't really have edges. It doesn't have like side faces. What it does have though is basically if you just take a big long rectangle, like if you had a piece of paper and you rolled it, that would make a cylinder. So really the sides of a cylinder is just one big rectangle, which we know how to find the surface area of. So when we're finding the surface area of a cylinder, it's just going to be the two circles for the top and the bottom, and then one big rectangle for the sides. So if we have this example 3 here, so with the sides again, if we were to unroll that rectangle there, unroll that cylinder, it would give us a rectangle like this. This is the height, which would be 5. And now to find the base of this rectangle, since the rectangle is curved all the way around the circle, that means the base of the rectangle is going to be equal to the circumference, which it mentions up here. The circumference of a base is 2 pi r. So we find our circumference. 2 pi r is 3, which gives us 6 pi. And we'll leave pi in our final answers for now. So when we do our area, it would be, area equals 5 times 6 pi. And when we multiply, you'll just take the numbers, 5 and 6, multiply those together, and have 30 pi for the area of that curved rectangle of the sides or a cylinder. And then for the area of the top and bottom base, those circles, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So we'd have pi, and then r is 3 squared, so 9 pi. And that's for the bottom and for the top, because they're going to be the same. So when we add these together, we'll have 30 pi plus 9 pi plus 9 pi. And when we're adding, you can just take the numbers. So 30 plus 9 gives us 48. And then the pi comes along. So we have 48 pi centimeters squared. All right. And now surface area of a pyramid. So remember, a pyramid is whenever the sides all come to a point up at the top. So in this case, we just have our our slanted sides faces to deal with, and then our bottom face, our base. So if we start with our sides, we'll do an example. Move on to the example, I guess, would be helpful. So our sides in this case for a pyramid are going to be a bunch of triangles for the sides, 4 triangles, and then the base is going to be a rectangle or a square. So for this example, here if we look at this triangle, and it is a square base that we're dealing with, sorry, not a rectangle. So all our sides are the same, which means that's 12, 12, 12, and 12. And so when we look at this triangle here, it has a height of 11 and a base of 12. So to find the area, it's 1/2 base times height to give us 66 inches squared for the area of one triangle. And since it's a square, all of the other triangles, the 3 other sides, are going to be the same. They're going to be congruent. So if you want to find the areas of each of them separately, that's fine. Or, since we know there's 4 triangles and they all have the same area, you just take the area of one of your triangles and then multiply by 4, which should give us 264. inches squared. So that's for the sides. That's for the sides of our pyramid. Now I just need to do the base. So for the base of the pyramid, it's a square again. Base times height would give us 12 times 12, which is 144 inches squared. And then again, it's just a matter of adding these two together. And you should get 408 inches squared for the surface area of that pyramid. Okay, so those are a bunch of examples, so make sure you keep your notes out. There's a couple quick check questions, self-assessment, and bring any questions you have to the Google Meet.